I gripped my wine glass tighter as my sister's tears splashed onto the pristine white tablecloth of our family's favorite restaurant. Right on cue, as always. My name is Riley, and I was about to become the villain of yet another perfect family dinner. The doctor says this is our last chance, Zoe sobbed while her husband Kelvin rubbed her shoulder with practiced precision. The next round of IVF costs twice as much, but it's our only hope. Mother reached across the table to clasp Zoe's free hand. Darling, we'll find a way, won't we, Collins? She shot my father that look, the one that meant someone's checkbook was about to take a hit. I took another sip of wine, hoping to disappear into the background. But in this family, neutrality wasn't an option. Riley! My father's voice carried that familiar edge. Your sister needs our support. All of our support. I set my glass down carefully. I've already contributed to the last 3 rounds. And yet, you still have that ridiculous car sitting in your garage, Mother cut in, while your sister suffers. The mention of my car sent ice through my veins. My 1967 Mustang, the only thing Aunt Grace left me, the one piece of my life they hadn't managed to monetize for Zoe's benefit. The car isn't for sale, I said flatly. Zoe's tears intensified. I just I just want to be a mother. Is that so wrong? Of course not, sweetheart, Mother soothed, while shooting daggers at me with her eyes. Some people just don't understand the sacred calling of motherhood. I caught Kelvin's gaze across the table. He looked away quickly. Too quickly. He always did. I understand perfectly, I said. I understand that I've already given $30,000 to this cause. I understand that being child free doesn't make me less of a woman. And I understand that my car is not family property to be redistributed. How dare you, Mother hissed, after everything we've done for you? The restaurant suddenly felt too small, too warm. A couple at the next table was trying not to stare. Everything you've done for me? I laughed, but there was no humor in it. Like what exactly? Riley, my father warned. This isn't the place. It never is it? I stood up, my napkin falling to the floor. There's never a right place or time to discuss anything except Zoe's next treatment, Zoe's next need, Zoe's next. I know someone, Kelvin interrupted suddenly. Everyone turned to look at him. A collector. He'd give you top dollar for the Mustang, more than enough for the treatment. The silence that followed was deafening. I looked at each of their faces, Mother's righteous anger, Father's stern disapproval, Zoe's perfectly timed tears, and Kelvin's carefully avoided gaze. You've already talked to this person, haven't you? I asked quietly. Father cleared his throat. Renee Benson. He's a trusted friend of an old colleague. He's willing to make it worth your while. Worth my while? The words tasted bitter. Like selling my soul is worth my while? Don't be dramatic, Mother snapped. It's just a car. Your sister's happiness is at stake. I sat back down slowly, my mind racing. They'd planned this ambush, probably for weeks. They knew exactly how to play it. The public setting to prevent a scene, the tears, the guilt, the pressure. Riley, Zoe whispered, reaching for my hand. Please, you're my only hope. I pulled my hand away and reached for my wine again. The liquid burned going down, but not as much as the words I was about to say. I'll think about it. Mother's face lit up. Oh, darling. I said I'll think about it. I cut her off. That's not a yes. But it wasn't a no either. And as I watched relief wash over their faces, something dark and cold settled in my chest. They thought they'd won. They thought they'd finally broken me. They had no idea what they'd actually done. I excused myself to the bathroom, hands shaking as I pulled out my phone. The contact name X glowed on my screen as I typed. They took the bait. The car will be available soon. The response came almost immediately. Everything in place. Just say when. I stared at my reflection in the bathroom mirror, hardly recognizing the woman who stared back. She looked dangerous. She looked ready. When I returned to the table, I managed a small smile. I'll talk to your collector, Kelvin. Set up a meeting. Oh, Riley! Zoe threw her arms around me. You're the best sister ever. Over her shoulder, I caught Kelvin's eye again. This time, he held my gaze, and I saw something there. Fear, maybe. He should be afraid. They all should be. The notifications wouldn't stop. Every time my phone buzzed, It was another reminder of my impending sacrifice. Just wanted to share this miracle story of a woman who tried IVF 7 times. Zoe's message glowed in our family group chat. God works in mysterious ways. You're blessed shall never give up. I clicked my phone off and walked into my garage. The Mustang sat there, gleaming under the fluorescent lights. Aunt Grace's pride and joy, the only person in our family who ever really saw me. My phone buzzed again. Mother this time. Mr. Benson can come tomorrow at 2 p.m. Don't be difficult about this, Riley. I ran my hand along the car's smooth hood, remembering the day Aunt Grace handed me the keys. This car holds secrets, she'd said with a wink. Just like you and me, kiddo. If they only knew how right she'd been. The doorbell rang, startling me from my thoughts. I opened it to find Brinley, my best friend since third grade, holding 2 bottles of wine. Thought you might need this after the family dinner from hell, she said, pushing past me into the house. Zoe's Instagram post was particularly nauseating. I followed her to the kitchen. You saw that? Grateful for family who sacrifice everything for my journey to motherhood, Brinley quoted, rolling her eyes as she uncorked a bottle. I wanted to vomit in my mouth. They're taking the car, Bryn. The wine bottle clattered against the counter. What? No, no way. That's your baby. I took a long swig straight from the bottle. The buyer's coming tomorrow. Tell them to go to hell. They can't just. Actually, I interrupted, I want them to take it. Brinley stared at me. Okay, who are you and what have you done with my friend? I grabbed her hand and pulled her toward the garage. The wine sloshed in the bottle as she stumbled after me. Remember last year when I did that DNA test? I asked, opening the car door. Yeah, the one your mom freaked out about and demanded you cancel? I reached under the dashboard, feeling for the hidden latch Aunt Grace had shown me. The secret compartment popped open. I never canceled it, I said, pulling out a sealed envelope. And I found these in Aunt Grace's things after she died. Brinley's eyes widened as she scanned the old letters. Holy shit. Is that is Xavier Paul your real father? Keep reading. Her gasp echoed in the garage. Kelvin knew. He took money to keep quiet about your mom's affair? $200,000, I confirmed, right before he married Zoe. But why is this stuff in the car? My phone buzzed again. Another message from Mother. Mr. Benson is very excited about the car. Such a blessing. I smiled grimly. Because Aunt Grace knew they'd never look here, and now Mr. Benson, who happens to work for Xavier, is going to find it. Riley. Brinley's voice was careful. What exactly are you planning? I took another drink. Justice. Or revenge. Maybe both. This will destroy them, she whispered. Your mom's reputation. Zoe's marriage. They're destroying themselves, I corrected. I'm just providing the evidence. My phone lit up with a text from Kelvin. Thank you for doing this for Zoe. You're making the right choice. Brinley watched me delete his message. Does Xavier know about all this? He knows enough. I closed the compartment. He's wanted the truth to come out for years. Now he'll have proof. And the car? Your precious Mustang? I patted the hood one last time. Sometimes you have to sacrifice a piece to win the game. Brinley grabbed the wine bottle from me. This isn't chess, Riley. These are people's lives. They should have thought about that before they tried to take mine apart piece by piece. My phone buzzed yet again. Zoe had posted another Instagram story, a photo of us at dinner, her eyes wet with tears, me looking away. The caption read, Sisters by blood, united by love. Blessed one of journey, family first. I showed it to Brinley. See? They're writing the story themselves, the perfect family, the desperate would-be mother, the selfish sister who finally does the right thing. And then? And then reality hits. I closed the garage door, leaving the Mustang in darkness. Mr. Benson comes tomorrow, finds the documents exactly where he knows to look, and the dominoes start falling. Brinley followed me back inside, shaking her head. You're scary when you're calculating. I learned from the best. I poured us each a proper glass of wine. They taught me that family means sacrifice. I'm just taking the lesson to heart. My phone buzzed one final time. A message from X. Benson is ready. No turning back after tomorrow. I raised my glass to Brinley, to family secrets. She clinked her glass against mine, her eyes worried. To whatever comes next. In the garage, the Mustang sat silent, waiting for tomorrow, holding its secrets for just one more night. The whole family showed up to watch me sign away my car. Mother even brought champagne, like we were celebrating a wedding instead of a funeral. Mr. Benson, she practically sang as she opened the door. We're so grateful you could make this work on such short notice. Renee Benson looked exactly like the photo Xavier had sent, tall, professional, with eyes that missed nothing. He shook my hand firmly. The pleasure's mine. I've been looking for a classic Mustang for quite some time. Isn't this wonderful? Zoe clapped her hands together. Everything's falling into place. I caught Benson studying the family dynamics with careful interest. Mother hovering, father pretending to check his phone, Kelvin standing slightly apart, and Zoe always center stage. Shall we look at the car? Benson suggested. In the garage, he circled the Mustang slowly, professionally. I remembered being 7 years old, watching Uncle Xavier do the same thing at a family barbecue. Beautiful condition, Benson murmured, running his hand along the hood. Your aunt taught you well. Mother's head snapped up. How did you know about her aunt? Riley mentioned it during our phone call. He covered smoothly. Quite a legacy to pass down. I forced a smile. Yes, Aunt Grace loved this car more than anything. Except you, Mother cut in sharply, though heaven knows why. The garage fell silent. Benson's eyebrows rose slightly as he opened the driver's door. Mind if I check the engine? He asked. Go ahead. I handed him the keys, our fingers brushing deliberately. Check everything thoroughly. He popped the hood and bent over the engine, but I knew what he was really doing. The slight click of the hidden compartment was covered by his appreciative whistle. Impressive maintenance, he said, straightening up. I'll take it. Father stepped forward with the paperwork. We've already drawn up the sale documents. Of course they had. They'd probably had them ready for weeks. As I signed the papers, Zoe hugged me tight. You have no idea what this means to me. Oh, I think I do, I muttered. Benson handed over a cashier's check, significantly more than the car was worth, as planned. Mother's eyes gleamed at the amount. We can start the IVF right away, Zoe squealed. Kelvin shifted uncomfortably. Maybe we should discuss the timing. There's nothing to discuss, Mother interrupted. Everything's perfect now. Benson cleared his throat. I'll have the car transported this afternoon, if that works for everyone. I nodded, not trusting myself to speak. The weight of what was about to happen pressed against my chest. This calls for a toast. Mother pulled out the champagne. To new beginnings. And miracles, Zoe added, touching her flat stomach meaningfully. And justice, I whispered, too quietly for anyone but Benson to hear. He gave me the slightest nod. As Mother poured champagne, my phone vibrated. A text from Xavier. Done? I typed back quickly. Almost. Benson has it handled. Then let's celebrate properly. Mother handed out glasses. To family. To family, everyone echoed. I raised my glass, but didn't drink. After they left, Benson lingered, pretending to make a call. Once we were alone, he handed me a small envelope. Everything's in place, he said quietly. The documents will be processed tomorrow. I took the envelope with trembling fingers. And the timing? 48 hours, maximum. Are you sure about this? I thought about Mother's smug smile, Zoe's performative tears, Kelvin's guilty eyes, and Father's calculated indifference. Completely sure. Benson nodded. Then it's done. Don't contact Xavier until you hear from me. After he left with my car, I opened the envelope. Inside was a single photo, me at age 6, sitting on Xavier's lap at a family party. On the back, in Aunt Grace's handwriting, the truth always comes out. My phone buzzed with a group text from Mother. Celebrating our generous Riley. Family dinner tomorrow night, Zoe replied instantly with heart emojis. Kelvin sent a thumbs up. Father added, proud of you, daughter. I stared at the word daughter until my vision blurred. In 48 hours, they'd learn exactly what that word meant. Another text came through, this one from Brinley. You okay? I looked around my empty garage, the ghost of my Mustang still lingering in the air. No, I typed back. But I will be. Want company? Not tonight. I need to prepare for tomorrow's performance. The Last Supper? I smiled grimly. Something like that. I walked back into my house, the envelope heavy in my pocket. Tomorrow, I'd play the role of the dutiful daughter one last time. I'd smile and accept their praise for my sacrifice. And then, like Aunt Grace always said, the truth would come out. All of it. Have you seen Zoe's latest post? Brinley dropped her phone on my desk at work. She's really milking this. I glanced at the screen, a photo of Zoe at the fertility clinic, Kelvin by her side, both smiling. The caption read, "Thanks to an angel's sacrifice, our miracle journey continues. Our blessed IVF sisters war family first." 78 comments, Brinley noted, all calling you an angel. I turned back to my computer. They don't know what kind of angel yet. Riley. Brinley's voice dropped. The car's been gone 3 days. When is Miss Allen? My assistant poked her head in. Your mother's on line one. Again? I sighed. Tell her I'm in a meeting. She says it's about tonight's dinner. Something about a special announcement? My stomach clenched. Of course there would be an announcement. Zoe never missed a chance to perform. Speaking of angels and demons, Brinley muttered as my assistant left. What's the announcement? Probably that the IVF took. That my car bought them a miracle. I checked my phone. No messages from Benson yet. Can they even know that soon? Since when does truth matter to my family? My phone buzzed. A text from Kelvin. Can we talk before dinner? Delete, I said out loud, hitting the button. Brinley peered at my screen. Kelvin's getting nervous? He should be. $200,000 of guilt money doesn't buy silence forever. Another buzz, mother this time. Wear something nice tonight. The Reverend is joining us. Perfect, I muttered. Let's add God to the witness list. Riley. Brinley grabbed my arm. Are you sure you want to be there when it all comes out? Before I could answer, my assistant returned. Miss Allen, there's someone here to see you. A Mr. Benson? My heart stopped. This wasn't part of the plan. Renee Benson stood in my office doorway, looking grave. Miss Allen, a moment? Brinley squeezed my hand before leaving. Once we were alone, Benson closed the door. There's been a complication, he said quietly. What kind of complication? Your father, Xavier, he wants to move faster. The papers are being filed today. I gripped my desk. Today? But the dinner? Will be perfectly timed. Benson placed a manila envelope on my desk. The process servers have been instructed to arrive at 7 p.m. My mother's voice echoed in my head. Dinner at 6:30 sharp. Don't be late. They're all going to be there, I whispered. The whole family. The Reverend. Exactly as planned. Benson's eyes were kind but firm. This was always the end game, Riley. I opened the envelope with shaking hands. Inside were copies of the legal documents, paternity suits, fraud allegations, financial misconduct claims, all the secrets from my car, transformed into weapons. Xavier wanted you to see these first, Benson said. Once they're served, there's no going back. My phone buzzed again. Zoe, can't wait to share our blessing tonight. Love you, sis. I closed the envelope. Good. After Benson left, Brinley returned with coffee. Well, it's happening tonight. She sat down hard. Holy shit. At the dinner? Apparently, God works in mysterious ways. I checked the time. 2:30 p.m. Less than 5 hours until ground zero. My phone kept buzzing. Mother. Don't forget. 6:30, wearing my pearls for the occasion. Father. Proud of you, daughter. Tonight proves what family means. Kelvin. Please, we need to talk. Zoe. Bought a special dress for tonight. You're the best sister ever. I turned my phone off. What are you going to wear? Brinley asked, trying to lighten the mood. Black, I said. It's a funeral after all. For them, maybe. For you, it's justice. I stood up, gathering my things. Revenge? Freedom? All of the above. She hugged me tight. Want me to come? I shook my head. This is family only. That's what they always wanted, right? As I drove home to change, I passed the church where Reverend Thomas would soon be witnessing my family's undoing. The marquee out front read, The truth shall set you free. My phone buzzed one last time before I turned into my driveway. A text from Xavier. Are you ready? I thought about mother's pearls. Zoe's special dress, father's proud smile, and Kelvin's desperate messages. I thought about years of lies, manipulation, and perfectly staged family photos. Ready, I typed back. Then I went inside to prepare for my final performance as the perfect daughter. In less than 4 hours, the truth would set us all free, whether they wanted it or not. Before we begin our meal, Reverend Thomas intoned, let us give thanks for family and blessings. 6:57 p.m. My heart pounded as I bowed my head. 3 minutes. And special thanks, Mother added, for bringing us together to celebrate wonderful news. Zoe beamed, clutching Kelvin's hand. He looked like he might throw up. The doorbell rang. Who could that be? Mother frowned. We're about to eat. I'll get it. Father stood, but the housekeeper had already opened the door. Two men in suits entered the dining room. Collins and Lillian? One held up a badge. Process server, you've been served. Mother's pearls clinked against her water glass as she snatched the envelope. What is this nonsense? Zoe and Kelvin Lane? The second server stepped forward with more papers. You've also been served? Zoe's perfect smile cracked. What's happening? A civil suit, the first server explained professionally, regarding paternity fraud, financial misconduct, and conspiracy to conceal familial identity. The room exploded. This is outrageous, Father thundered. Paternity? Mother's face went white. Financial misconduct? Kelvin jumped up, backing away from the table. Only Reverend Thomas remained calm, watching the chaos unfold with growing understanding. The plaintiff, the server continued, Xavier Paul, alleges. Stop! Mother screamed. Don't you dare say another word! But the damage was done. Zoe stared at our mother in horror. Xavier? Uncle Xavier? Lillian. Father's voice was deadly quiet. What have you done? I sat silently, watching my mother's carefully constructed world crumble. Her hands shook as she tried to open the envelope. Riley! Kelvin's voice cut through the chaos. Did you do this? All eyes turned to me. The car, Mother whispered. The documents were in the car. What documents? Zoe demanded. Perhaps, Reverend Thomas suggested gently, we should all sit down. Sit down? Mother laughed hysterically. My daughter just destroyed our family and you want to sit down? You destroyed this family? I said quietly. I just exposed the truth. Father ripped open his envelope, scanning the contents. His face turned gray. $200,000, Kelvin? That's what it took to buy your silence? Zoe whirled on her husband. What's he talking about? I can explain, Kelvin stammered. Explain how you knew my sister was Uncle Xavier's daughter, how you took money to keep quiet. Zoe, please, don't touch me. She stumbled back, knocking over her chair. All this time while we were trying for a baby. You knew? The process servers quietly let themselves out. Reverend Thomas stayed, a silent witness to the implosion. I did this for us, Mother suddenly declared. Everything I did was to protect this family. Protect us? I stood up slowly. You mean protect yourself, your reputation, your perfect daughter, and your perfect life. You ungrateful. The DNA test confirmed it. I cut her off. Xavier is my father, and Kelvin knew, and you all kept lying. While taking my money for IVF treatments, Father added bitterly, treatments to give me a grandchild that wouldn't even be mine. Zoe ran from the room, sobbing. Kelvin followed, calling her name. I trusted you, Father told Mother. 35 years of marriage, and you let me raise another man's child. Collins, please. And you. He turned to me. You orchestrated all this? With Xavier? I met his gaze steadily. I learned from the best. Family means sacrifice, right? Mother lunged across the table, scattering glasses and plates. You vindictive little Lillian! Reverend Thomas caught her arm. That's enough. Enough? She wrenched away from him. My daughter just destroyed everything. No, I stood up. You destroyed everything. The lies, the manipulation, the constant pressure to be perfect. That was all you. Get out, she hissed. Get out of my house. Gladly. I picked up my purse. But you might want to read those papers carefully. Xavier's lawyers are very thorough. Father sank into his chair, looking suddenly old. The media will have this by morning. Probably sooner, I confirmed. Truth travels fast these days. As if on cue, Mother's phone started buzzing, then Father's, then mine. I hope it was worth it, Mother spat. Destroying your sister's marriage, your father's trust. He's not my father, I said quietly. You made sure of that 32 years ago. I walked out of the dining room, past the untouched food and scattered papers. In the driveway, I could hear Zoe screaming at Kelvin. My phone buzzed with a text from Xavier. It's done. Are you okay? Before I could answer, Reverend Thomas appeared beside my car. That was quite a confession in there, he said mildly. I met his eyes. Sometimes confession is just another word for truth. He nodded slowly. And sometimes revenge is just another word for justice. I got into my car as the first news van turned onto our street. The truth was out, and it was only the beginning. Turn to Channel 7, Brinley said as soon as I answered my phone. Now. I flicked on my TV to see Mother's perfectly curated family photo splashed across the screen. The headline beneath read, Local Family's Dark Secret Exposed, Paternity Fraud and Financial Scandal. Jesus, I muttered. That was fast. It's everywhere, Brinley confirmed. Twitter, Facebook, local news. Your mother's charity board is already calling an emergency meeting. My phone buzzed with another call. Zoe. Ignore, I told Brinley. She's called 12 times since last night. What about Kelvin? He's too busy trying to save himself. Apparently, he's offered to testify about the payoff. The TV switched to live footage outside my parents' house. Mother pushed through reporters, clutching her pearls, while father walked separately to his car. In a shocking development, the reporter announced, sources claim prominent businessman Collins knew nothing of his wife Lillian's decades long deception. Another call lit up my phone. Unknown number. Hello? Riley. Xavier's voice was warm but cautious. Are you watching? Hard not to. The lawyers want to meet. All of us, today. I glanced at the TV, where Mother was now shoving a microphone away from her face. Is that wise? It's necessary. They're freezing accounts, investigating the IVF clinic's finances. We need to move quickly. My doorbell rang. Through the peephole, I saw Kelvin. I have to go, I told Xavier. Someone's here. Don't talk to anyone without the lawyers present. I opened the door but blocked the entrance. Kelvin looked terrible. 5 minutes, he pleaded. Please. Why? So you can explain how $200,000 bought your silence? He ran his hands through his disheveled hair. Zoe won't talk to me. Her phone's been disconnected. I need to understand why you did this. Really? I pulled out my phone, opened Instagram. Look familiar? It was Zoe's post from 3 days ago. Me handing over my car keys, captioned Angels Walk Among Us, Skir Blessed Warwick Sister Love. You destroyed us over some social media posts? No, I snapped. I exposed the truth about years of manipulation, lies, and fraud. The post just made it easier to stomach. His face hardened. You think you're so righteous? You have no idea what this will do to Zoe. Like you cared about Zoe when you took my father's hush money? Your father? He laughed bitterly. Which one? The man who raised you or the man who paid you to destroy us? My phone buzzed again. A news alert. Local fertility clinic under investigation. Fraudulent funding scheme exposed. I showed Kelvin the headline. Looks like your IVF miracle might have some legal complications. All color drained from his face. They can't. We already started the procedure. With money that's about to be frozen by federal investigators. I smiled coldly. Karma's funny that way. He grabbed my arm. You have to stop this. Get your hands off me. I yanked away. Or the assault charges can be added to your growing legal problems. Riley, please. His voice cracked. I love her. Love? I laughed. You loved money more than truth. Now you get neither. A car pulled into my driveway, a sleek black Mercedes. Xavier stepped out. Everything okay here? He called. Kelvin backed away. This isn't over. Actually, Xavier approached, his presence commanding. It is. My lawyers are expecting you at 2 p.m. Don't be late. We watched Kelvin drive away, tires screeching. You shouldn't be alone right now, Xavier said. They're desperate. I'm fine. Riley. He hesitated. I know this isn't about us, but I'd like to help. My phone buzzed yet again. A text from Zoe. How could you do this to me? I'm your sister. Half sister, I typed back, then deleted it. Instead, I turned to Xavier. Why did you wait so long? To claim me? Your mother threatened to disappear with both of you if I tried. He looked away. I thought I thought letting you have a stable family was better than fighting. Some stability, I muttered. Another news alert. Prominent socialite Lillian steps down from Children's Charity Board amid scandal. Xavier touched my shoulder gently. The lawyers are waiting. Ready to finish this? I looked at my phone one last time. 27 missed calls, 43 text messages, 5 news alerts, and one new Instagram post from Zoe, a black screen with white text. Sometimes those closest to you hold the sharpest knives. Betrayed, Gertrude heartbroken. Yeah, I said, grabbing my keys. Let's finish it. As we drove away, I caught a glimpse of Mother's car turning onto my street, but I was done with perfect family dinners and staged photos and suffocating lies. The truth was messy and ugly and freeing, and I was just getting started. The law firm's conference room felt too small for all the hatred crackling through it. Mother sat at one end, Father at the other, Zoe huddled in the corner as far from Kelvin as possible. Xavier's presence by my side made Mother's jaw clench rhythmically. Let's begin. Xavier's lawyer opened a thick folder. The terms of settlement. Settlement? Mother barked out a laugh. You think you can buy your way out of destroying my family? You destroyed this family. Father cut in. 35 years, Lillian. 35 years of lies. The terms, the lawyer continued firmly, are non negotiable. The evidence is substantial. Kelvin leaned forward. What evidence exactly? Bank transfers, another lawyer began listing. DNA results, letters, emails, your own signed agreement regarding the $200,000. That was private, Kelvin protested. Nothing's private anymore, I said quietly. Isn't that right, Mother? She turned on me, eyes blazing. You ungrateful little Mrs. Allen, Xavier's lawyer interrupted. Please control yourself. Now, regarding the fertility clinic. Zoe's head snapped up. What about the clinic? The lawyer shuffled some papers. The funds used for your treatments have been flagged for investigation. The FDA is involved. The FDA? Zoe's voice cracked. But I'm already. We started. The treatments will have to be suspended, the lawyer confirmed, pending investigation. Zoe crumpled in on herself. For the first time, I felt a twinge of regret. This is what you wanted, isn't it? She whispered, looking at me, to make sure I never have a baby. No, I said. I wanted the truth. The truth? Kelvin stood up suddenly. You want truth? Here's truth. I took the money because your father offered it, because he knew what it would do to his precious reputation if people knew he'd raised another man's child. Father lunged across the table. Two lawyers jumped between them. Enough! Xavier's voice cut through the chaos. The terms are simple. Collins, you'll step down from the company. Lillian, you'll forfeit your position on all charity boards. Kelvin, you'll sign a confession about the payoff. And what do you get? Mother spat. Your daughter? Your revenge? I get to finally claim my child, Xavier said quietly. The one you kept from me for 32 years. She was better off without you. Was I? I stood up slowly. Better off being the family disappointment? The daughter who was never quite good enough? Who had to give up everything for Zoe? I loved you, Mother screamed. Everything I did was for love. No, Father's voice was iced. Everything you did was for appearance, for your perfect family fantasy. Speaking of appearances, Xavier's lawyer interjected, the press is waiting for a statement. Mother blanched. Press? You can either sign the agreements now or we go public with everything. The lawyer spread out documents. Your choice. Kelvin grabbed a pen first. Where do I sign? Kelvin, Zoe gasped. How could you? It's over, Zoe, he said tiredly. The money, the treatments, all of it. It's over. Father signed next, not looking at anyone. Mother's hand shook as she picked up the pen. This isn't fair, she whispered. Fair? I laughed. Was it fair to lie to Father for 35 years? To make me feel worthless because I wasn't Zoe? To force me to sell my car for treatments that were funded with fraud? Riley. Xavier touched my arm. It's done. Zoe was the last to sign, tears splashing onto the paper. I hope you're happy, she told me. I hope destroying everyone made you feel better. I met her eyes. I didn't destroy anyone. I just stopped letting them destroy me. The lawyers gathered the papers. Mother stood up, straightening her pearls one last time. You'll regret this, she said, when you're alone, when you have no family left. She has family, Xavier interrupted. She has me. And me, Father said unexpectedly. Everyone turned to stare at him. What? I raised her. DNA doesn't change that. Mother stormed out. Kelvin slunk after her. Zoe paused at the door. Was any of it real? She asked me. Did you ever love me at all? I loved you enough to tell you the truth, I said, even if it hurt. After they left, Xavier handed me an envelope. There's something else you should know. Inside was a medical report, my medical history, through his side of the family. The gene mutation, he said softly, the one that caused your aunt's cancer. You needed to know. I stared at the paper, understanding flooding through me. This was why Aunt Grace left me the car, why she made sure I'd find the truth. She'd saved my life one last time. Ready to go home? Xavier asked. I looked around the empty conference room at the scattered papers and abandoned coffee cups. Yeah, I said. I'm ready. The truth had set us all free, even if some of us didn't want it. Are you sure you want to post this? Brinley peered at my laptop screen. Once it's out there, it needs to be my version, I said, fingers hovering over the keyboard. Not Mother's press statement or Zoe's tearful interviews. The Reddit post was already long. The car, the DNA test, the family manipulation, all of it. I'd ended it with a question. Was revenge worth the cost? Speaking of costs, Brinley nodded toward my TV, where a news anchor was reporting on the fertility clinic investigation. Looks like Zoe's not the only one affected. 12 other families, I confirmed, all using fraudulent funds. The clinic's shutting down. My phone buzzed. Father. Hey, I answered cautiously. We hadn't spoken since the lawyer's office. I'm selling the house, he said without preamble. Your mother? She's moved in with her sister. And Zoe? Still not speaking to anyone. Kelvin's agreed to a quiet divorce. He paused. I found more letters in your mother's study. My heart thumped. What kind of letters? Love letters. From Xavier. He tried to do right by you, Riley. Your mother just wouldn't let him. The doorbell rang. Through my window, I saw Xavier's car in the driveway. I have to go, I told Father. But thanks for telling me. Riley? His voice caught. I'm still your father, too, if you want. I swallowed hard. I know. Xavier held up a paper bag when I opened the door. Brought dinner. And news. More news? Brinley grabbed her purse. That's my cue to leave. Over Chinese takeout, Xavier showed me the latest legal documents. The company's being restructured, he explained. Your father keeps his pension, but control reverts to the board. And mother's charities? All resigned, though she's trying to spin it as taking time for family healing. He rolled his eyes. I checked my phone. The Reddit post was gaining traction. Comments poured in. Your family got what they deserved. But your poor sister? Sometimes revenge just makes more victims. Having second thoughts? Xavier noticed my frown. No, just I pushed my food around, realizing revenge doesn't feel like I thought it would. How does it feel? Empty, but also free. I looked at him. Does that make sense? He nodded slowly. Freedom usually comes with a price. My phone buzzed again. A text from Zoe. The clinic called. Treatment's officially canceled. Hope you're happy. Are you? Xavier asked. Happy? Before I could answer, another text came through. From Kelvin. You should know. Your mother's writing a book, her side of the story. I laughed out loud. What's funny? Xavier asked. Mother's writing a book, probably called How My Ungrateful Daughter Ruined Our Perfect Family or something. Let her write it. He pulled out one final envelope. This might help with your side of the story. Inside were photos. Dozens of them. Me as a baby, toddler, child, all taken from a distance. Xavier watching me grow up from afar. You were there, I whispered, all along. As close as she'd let me get. His voice was rough. I should have fought harder. My phone lit up. The Reddit post had gone viral. Notifications poured in. Look at this one. I showed him a comment. Sometimes the truth is the best revenge. Is it? I thought about Mother's carefully curated life, now shattered. Zoe's perfect marriage and miracle baby dreams exposed as lies. Father's quiet dignity in the aftermath. The truth set us all free, I said finally, even if freedom hurts. Speaking of truth, Xavier hesitated, there's a specialist I'd like you to see about the gene mutation. Already made an appointment, I smiled. Aunt Grace taught me well. Knowledge is power. My phone buzzed one last time. A notification from Instagram. Zoe had posted a new photo, her and Mother, heads together, looking sad but determined. The caption read, starting over. Truth, vow healing, being family. I showed Xavier. Think they've learned anything? Have you? I looked at my Reddit post, still gathering comments. Deleted it. Some stories don't need public validation. Some revenge doesn't need an audience. I learned that I don't need their version of family, I said, or their approval. And the cost? Xavier asked softly. Was it worth it? I looked at the photos he'd brought, all those years of watching, waiting, loving from a distance. At Father's text about still being my father, too. At Brinley's unwavering support. The cost showed me who really mattered, I said. So yeah, it was worth it. Xavier smiled. Ready for what comes next? I closed my laptop, silencing the notifications, the drama, the past. Yeah, I said. I'm ready. Sometimes revenge isn't about destroying others. Sometimes it's about saving yourself.